Good afternoon, everyone. Hey, Tim.
Hello.
Hey, Christy.
Hey Taylor,
Awesome.
happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday to you as well. So, I'm going to give it a few minutes just to see if anyone else jumps in, like this fellow right here. But I'm really excited to go over this update with you guys. I have something really fun to show you, and it's something that will be live on Monday in your account. So, when you start off your week next week, you'll be able to do exactly what I'm going to show you in this announcement. We're hoping to get out to you guys, this week, today or by Friday. But I want to take the weekend to just iron out a few little things with this update before we make it go live. And I just want to give our team the time to be able to do that without, rushing. I think Tim, you probably know the saying. You've probably said it to your students once or 100 times that haste makes waste. So we
Nobody
want
believes it.
yeah, no, absolutely. So we just want to make sure we're crossing our T's, dotting our I's, even interacting with this update. There's a few things that we've, found because this is the first time that we had a chance to interact with it. And actually, about an hour and a half ago is when it was first put in place. So everything before that was just numbers on a screen and code language and saying, okay, I think this will work like it's supposed to. And then we deployed it and we actually got to play with it and we go, all right, like this is going great. But there's a couple things that we notice as we play with it. So anywho, I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes and then I'll just kind of jump in and just show you what we have that we're rolling out with and all that good stuff. So while we're waiting, is there any issues that you guys have run up against this last week when it comes to Sourceflow that you're having struggles with? Tim, I just remember I did see your email yesterday. Um, Actually, you know what? Maybe that would be something.
That's a good topic for me, at least. I don't know about everybody else.
Well, I'd say if anything, Tim, maybe I'll just have you hang out afterwards.
Sure.
And we'll go through it together. Because I think it's something pretty simple that we're missing. I think you're
Okay.
pulling an export from the wrong area. Um, so let's plan on that. We'll have you hang out a little bit later after the
Sure.
call, and do that.
Okay.
So awesome. Is this is it Row? I'm not sure if you have a mic.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello, good evening or afternoon.
Good evening.
I got your email. Somehow I'm on your list. I'm not even sure what I've signed into.
Okay.
I just saw sourcing and I'm like, okay, I want to source. So yeah, that's it. Is this Amazon or Walmart?
This is for Amazon. Yep.
Okay.
Um, this is not we're not going to be doing sourcing in the sense of like sourcing for product leads. But
Yeah.
this is actually for a tool called Sourceflow. It's a tool for
Okay.
Amazon sellers. It helps them keep a database of all the leads or products that they have found that they have sourced themselves or have purchased from a leads list into one database. And then in that database, they can search and sort those leads based off of latest data from Amazon and data based off of how that product has sold in their store, how many stock they have, a whole bunch of different things. And then it also helps you keep track and manage all your purchase orders. So that way you don't have to use a spreadsheet to record your purchases. Works with your prep center if you're doing your own prep, all that good stuff. So I'm
Okay.
excited to have you in. If
Sounds
you
good.
if you kind of stumbled in here randomly, welcome. Hopefully, what I show you today, you'll be like, "Oh, this is really cool. I want to learn more about this." So
Okay, great.
awesome. All
Thank
right,
you.
well, let's go ahead and just get started. And then if more people come in, I'll try my best to let them in. Sometimes that happens on these calls. So, all right, guys. Well, here's the big update for this week, and this has been something that we've been working on for I think about probably a couple months now. I'd say is a good, safe time frame. And that is a new rebuild of Smart Data. So right now I am in Smart Data the way that you see it in your version, where you have your different lead cards and so on and so forth. I want to make you aware of a couple things. First is going to be we have a new feature called snoozed. Okay. So whenever you're looking at a lead and you want to snooze that lead for the future, meaning you don't want it to show up in your results and you want to be alerted about this lead 2 weeks from now, let's say, for you to review again, you can now do that. And the way you're going to do that is if you come to this item or any item and click on the actions button. I got somebody who wants to join in and click on the actions button. You're going to see that there one is a lot more options here than there used to be. So if you want to make a quick copy of the title or the ASIN, you can do that. If you want to edit any of the details of that lead, you can do that as well. If you want to reset the lead to the original details based off of what OH header has provided, you can do that as well. Errors. But then down here, you'll have the ability to snooze a lead and then snooze all leads for this product. Okay. As of right now, and this may change in the future. When we refer to leads, we are specifically talking about a lead that has an ASIN and a supplier connected to it. Okay, that is what we are referring to as a lead. It has to have a supplier and the ASIN. The product itself is the ASIN. Okay, so if I have a pair of Nike shoes, the Nike shoes are the product, that ASIN, that Amazon listing. A lead is that ASIN paired with a supplier. Okay. In your guys' smart data account, you probably have multiple leads that have the same ASIN and maybe different suppliers, or even the same supplier because it was delivered from a leads list. And then maybe your team found it on their own. And then maybe a different leads list provided the exact same data. Those are all three separate leads. So when we say snooze the lead, it would snooze specifically this ASIN, this item from Huda Beauty, for example. Okay. If I say snooze all leads for this product, it would snooze all the different supplier leads that have a supplier for that ASIN. So that way you just don't see that ASIN show up in your results because it's snoozed. I recommend that you guys play around with this, snooze leads. I'm going to show you how you can unsnooze them. So just click around, play around with it. You're going to get familiar with this really fast. But if I say I want to snooze the lead, I click on that and I'm going to be given an option if I want to do 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, or I can just pick a date. So say I want to pick a date. Oop, I clicked away from it by mistake. So say I want to pick a date and I say I want to snooze this lead till, September 16th. And I select that date. And then I can put a reason if I want. It is optional, but maybe I want to say, um, see offers go down.
Labor Day sale.
Huh?
Labor Day sale.
Yeah, or a Labor Day sale or something like that. So I can give a reason for why am I snoozing this lead? What am I looking for? Right? This information will be helpful down the road when you review the lead and you can get an understanding of why did I originally snooze this. I hit snooze. That lead no longer shows up in my results. But if I come up here to the top to this snoozed button, I can click on it and that ASIN is going to be sitting there or that lead is going to be sitting there ready for me to review it when I'm ready. Okay. If I want to unsnooze it, I just click the unsnooze button and that will remove it from my snooze list. And if I go back to smart data, it shows back up again. Okay. We will be building some more things around this snooze feature, such as, for example, just a component in the dashboard to alert you when you have a lead that has been snoozed and then it reaches its timer. This is going to, give you some sort of notification to let you know how many leads you have to review, that sort of thing. So we will be expanding on this, but the functionality is there now. Okay.
Two
So,
questions quick, Taylor.
yes.
Um, One, a request. Is there any way you can at least think of moving those snooze buttons out to their own button to where we don't have to hit the edit?
As of right now, I don't want to do that because add to buy list, that's an action that you're going to want to always have on the demand. I would call it a high demand button, right?
Right.
Opening the links is a high demand button.
Yeah.
With snooze, I would imagine for a lot of people is not going to be a high demand button. So to take up that real estate here, we want to be careful about doing that. Now, if we get a lot
But
of
couldn't
feed,
you put it like beside it?
well, yes, if we could put it beside it, but then we everything else has to be formatted to make that fit, right?
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
not I'm not saying it's not possible, but we want to keep our inner what we don't want, and I don't think you want this either, is you don't want a ton of buttons everywhere on your
Right.
interface. And so I
Yeah.
my job is to be very selective of what are we showing and when are we and where are we showing it. And if it's something where it's for example, if I put another button off to the side here, now we have four buttons and then this little blank chunk of space that we would have to accommodate for, and then if it's the snooze button today, then it's going to be the unsnoozed, or it's going to be the copy button in the future. My job is to be kind of like the gate
Yep.
that goes, hey, I like that idea, and I'm the bouncer, right? What idea do I is like this is totally like something we want to add to it. Um, I'm open to feedback if and when we present this out, if we get some tickets from folks saying like, hey, I want that snooze button to be more readily available, then at that point we'll move forward with it. At least for this initial rollout, I didn't have Brian added as a button for a reason.
Okay. Second question, remind me again how we're going to handle dog paged. I know you could filter by dog page,
Mhm.
but are those leads ever going to be deleted or how does dog page get handled?
So as of right now, we are I don't really have a way of only showing dog pages, which there's a reason for that. Um, so with dog pages, as of right now, we are not doing anything with them other than identifying them. Um, I could imagine that if we have a dog page that has been checked over the span of 3 or 6 months and it has continued to be a dog page the entire time, then we would maybe hide that or just remove it from the database, possibly.
Okay.
You have that ability though. That's actually I'm glad that just I was looking at Brian and he smiled a little bit and I went, oh yeah, I know why he's smiling. So you have that ability. So if you say you come across this lead that OH header delivered to you, Christy, and you're like, well, this is a dog page. Like I just want to get rid of this. You can come in here and you can delete the lead
Yep.
right
Yep.
there.
I've been keeping them, and that's one of the things that I'm going to look at my snooze button for
Hmm.
is I'm going to mark when I saw it was dog paged. And then if, like you said, if it's been dog paged for 3 or 6 months,
Yep.
then I'm probably going to delete the lead because if it's been dog paged that long, it's probably not coming back.
I agree with you. So we gave you guys the ability to delete so that way you can make those decisions. I guess what I don't want to be is I don't want to be in a position where I set up some sort of system that deletes leads and then somebody goes, what the heck? I needed that lead for my records or I don't want you
Yeah.
deleting my data. So
Yeah, I just couldn't remember what we said when we had talked about the dog page before. So I was like, I have to ask Taylor about that because I don't know how it, like if it ever gets rid of those or how any of that works.
no, that is a good question. So no, it doesn't, we don't get rid of it. It just we just don't, we allow you to not see it. And then if you do want to delete it, that's your call. It's your data to do what you want with at that
Yep.
point. So
Yep. I
Yeah.
like that idea. That works.
I can tell you on the data side, there was a whole handful of features we really wanted to put together, but it required us to kind of structure the way you guys basically get a copy of the published leads from Cheddar, instead of everyone reading the same version. That actually allows you to be able to now delete it, and it's what allows us to be able to have it be edited. And coming soon will be like custom shipping cost or custom internal costs that you want to have recorded in here will then be able to be applied to the ROI calculation. Again, these were things we had to take care of before we could start doing that. So I'm really excited for the next month um,
Yep.
to
I
to
was
put
going to
these
mention
features
something
together.
on that too. You were talking about like, like how you, when you build out the profit calculator, how you figure out shipping for like FBM orders and stuff like that.
hmm
The way RevSeller does it is they do it by regions or by
hmm
zones. You know how the Postal Service has zones?
Yep.
So that might be something that, you know, you could think of with the profit calculator.
Yeah, no, 100%. I've thought about that. I've also thought about maybe just doing zone, I think it's zone 8 as the default because that covers no matter where you're at in the United States, that covers the United States other than Hawaii and Alaska. Oops. Oops. Sorry. I accidentally hit something on my keyboard and threw off my computer for a second. Okay. Um, excellent. Any other
Okay.
questions, Christy?
Nope, that's it.
All right. So I just wanted to show you guys the snooze feature. And the reason why I'm showing it to you on this old, on the, I would say the old version of the lead cards is because this is one of those things that when we put in the big update, we realize, okay, this is missing from this page. We need to go and add that. And that's something we're going to do over the weekend. So you can only see it right now on the old lead card view. So I just wanted to show you how the snoozed is going to work and how it looks. So now, without further ado, let's talk about group by product or group by ASIN, either one. Up here in the top right-hand corner of the screen next to the export button, you have three different views of smart data. You have the table view, which a lot of you are already familiar with. Then you have the current lead card view, and then there's going to be this new one here. It's going to be represented by four squares in a grid type format. And you're going to click on that, and this is going to open up the new lead card view, which is what you're seeing right here. Okay. Now, on this new lead card view, you will see that there's a list of ASINs over here on your left. These are your results on the page that you are currently looking at. If I'm looking at 10, if I switch this over to 50, it's going to show me 50 results on here, which is going to be my page one. Okay. In here, you'll see the image of the product, the ASIN, the beginning of the title, and then the ROI percentage and the net profit are going to show, as well as how many leads you have. If you scroll down and you look at a lead, you'll be able to see here that you'll see the sale price, the current BSR, 90-day average, offers, monthly sold, and the rating. All that's going to live up here in this top section. Then you'll have the image, title, ASIN, category, the brand name, and the UPC number all right here. Whether you're approved to sell will be right next to the image, so it's easy to see and view. And then if you want to open this item on Amazon, there's a button right next to it that will open up the Amazon listing. Okay.
That's awesome.
Down here below that, you'll have the Amazon order. This is going to be your data, your personal data on this particular ASIN. So this account that I'm on right now, because this is our alpha server, this doesn't show any Amazon orders in the last 30 days because last time we updated the data on this server was about 30 days ago for my account or over. So, but normally you'd see the last 30 days. Brian, as I'm kind of going over this, I just want to point out, I do want to add some sort of toggle. Like I see this arrow down here, and I think we'll add some sort of toggles for date ranges. So if you want to see the last 60 or 90 days or all time, you can make that change on the card itself.
Real quick, Taylor,
Yes.
if we have flat tags on some of our leads, where will those show up?
That's a great question. I'm going to show you that here in a little bit.
Okay.
Perfect. Amazon inventory. So how many you have on hand, that will display right here in this middle section. And then your purchase history. So you can see that I actually purchased two of these way back when, and I haven't received any, listed any, and I have no errors. Okay. So that's your purchase order history information. Then down below that, it will give you a summary of how many leads you have for this ASIN. Okay. So remember, lead, we're going to call a lead anything that has an ASIN and a supplier attached to it. So down below, you'll have all the different suppliers. I can get this from Basin Sports, Spring Hill Outfitters, and then another one from Basin Sports, which was delivered on two different lists. One was something that my team found, and then the other one was something that was ended up on a leads list the next day. Okay. And you can see here the name of the leads list as well as the published date of when that lead was found. So I have two suppliers here for the same lead. Now I can choose to come in here and delete that lead. And when I do that, okay, and now no longer shows up. Okay, I actually have multiple from Basin Sports. So let me even get rid of this one right here. Just that way, make it clear. One was an honorable mention lead. The other one was a top shelf lead. So there we go.
I hope it was sorted by that and you deleted your best one.
Oh, yep. Okay. Um, let's see. Anyway, that's how I would delete the supplier itself, right? And yeah. Okay, so you asked about tags, Christy. So the tags, if I add a tag in here, let's say it's on back order and I'll call it a bulky item. I apply the tag and all right, this is why we didn't push this to production out of the gate for and we're presenting this. This is a live demo for my first time. So tags should show up on the lead itself next to the supplier. So we need to, definitely get that ad in over the weekend where the tags will show up next to the supplier name or in this section of somewhere. Okay, even if it's, and I'm just kind of speaking to you right now, Brian, as well, even if it's like taking advantage of this space here to show a grouping of tags as well. So
Definitely.
we'll get that figured out. We'll also make sure that we'll double check anything like if I delete the lead, and I'm guessing this is the best one. So if I delete this from iHerb, yeah, it looks like if I delete the best one, Brian, it's also causing the lead to be deleted as well. So we'll want to look into that.
Oh, I see. You're sorted by number of leads in the subgroup. So when you deleted that, it became fewer leads under that product.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. And this is, it is working probably as intended, but this is one of those things where we definitely like your guys' feedback because even if we build it where logically it makes sense, it may not be the right feel for how you expect a sort to work. So definitely just let us know as you come across these things. If you feel it should work a certain way and it doesn't, that's definitely information we use to help guide our development.
So I just want to go through this real quick. So I saved this ASIN off to the side just in case by me deleting this. I have it grouped by or sorted by BSR now. So it's
Hmm.
showing me the best BSR, the lowest BSR to the highest. So if I come in here and I delete this supplier or this lead, and I keep scrolling down, I should see there's the item right here. Yep, it's the same one with that. So it's not deleting. Brian's right. When I was deleting that, when I had it sorted by number of leads, now that lead, there's, that ASIN only had 2 leads with it. So it's not going to be in the top results next to the ones that have 3 or 4 suppliers or leads with it. So cool. All right. I was a little worried there that I was just, did something like, oh no, maybe we're accidentally showing. Anyway, you guys get where my fear was. I was like, oh no, we're accidentally deleting products when we don't mean to, but it's working the way it should, just not the way I thought it was going to. Um, okay, so with this as well, so if you're looking at this item, um, here, let me come back out of this. Let's reset our stuff. Let me search a keyword. So I'll just type in Nike just as an example. Okay, so if I type in the keyword Nike, okay, it's only going to show me leads that have that keyword in them. So Nike's in the title of this ASIN, so it's going to show up, and then DTLR is the supplier. Okay. If I come down here, same thing here is true. Nike in the title, but also Nike is one of the suppliers as well. If I typed in Nike.com, just like if I was wanting to target it on a specific supplier, okay, notice that everything is going to show up as Nike.com as the listed supplier. What I want to find is something like this. So because I was searching the keyword Nike.com, it's only showing me results that have Nike.com in them, meaning that this supplier is the only one that shows up. There is one being filtered out because I have a filter in place based off of the keyword. And if I were to click on that, it would show me that Shop WSS is another supplier for this keyword, all right, or for this listing. But because I typed in Nike, Nike is the one that's showing up as the result. Okay, so what this means is when you're searching by keywords, it's going to show you the leads that match that keyword as the result. So you're not getting a whole bunch of suppliers that maybe you're not trying to target, right? And having to, comb through those. If you ever want to see that, you'll see down below it says show one more source for this ASIN. And if I were to click on that, it would show me the other source being filtered out. Okay. So this is how, if you have multiple leads with multiple suppliers, you'd be able to view that. Let me go back to sorting this by number of leads. So you can see here, for example, this one, it's showing me the top two suppliers, but there's 16 suppliers that are connected to this ASIN. And if I click on that button, I can expand them all and view it. But it's organizing them by what is the most profitable, right? Because that's most likely the one you want to look at first. Does that make sense? Everyone good there on
Yes,
that?
thank you.
Okay,
A lot to
perfect.
take in. This will be really helpful if you have teams that are adding in leads too through like the extension, because a lot of times you can land with the same ASIN lead multiple times. So by seeing this, it really groups everything up and then shows you, which is the most profitable at the top, which is really nice.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, my team does that right now too, where they, even if the lead already exists in smart data, they just go through the extension and add it again because they can add to the buy list at the same time. And I don't hate that because it kind of gives me a track record of what they find and win, but also how many leads that we have, multiple suppliers for. Um, so having this grouped up will help save time for sure. And then especially when we update the extension to show them that information so they don't have to like re-enter it every time will be cool too. But
Did you say it sorts by the one that's most profitable?
yeah, so if I come here to
If
this
you look at
list,
that top lead, it's not sorted that way.
this one right here, as it's
Yeah.
Net profit.
net
Oh
Yeah,
profit.
yeah, you're
net
right.
profit
It's
is
not because the third
715,
one.
but if you there's one three down that the net profit is 1015.
Let me refresh this so we can kind of see what we're looking at. So this first one, we had two here, right? 715 net profit, you're right. And then if we were to open this up,
Yeah, the third one is more profit.
the more
Yeah.
third
And
one is
what are
more
your search
profitable.
results there, Taylor? Like, what are your filters?
So
Did you
number of
filter?
leads, and I have no filters applied. So we'll have to look at that. We'll have to look at
Yeah,
this
we'll
table.
take a look. We'll get this essentially perfectly lined up. This is good that we'll have the weekend, but the functionality and everything should be there. It looks like because when you close those out, it said 16 were filtered out, so there's some sort of filter kicking that out. And then when you expand it all, it's showing all of them. It
Hmm.
might be your 30-day sales or something along those lines. We'll take a close look because it looks like Amazon orders is maybe selected at 30 days.
Yeah.
But these are things like we definitely want to iron out and have it be perfect before we presented it. I was really trying to get this out before we'd have this conversation today, but I'll tell you, we don't let like if there's any kind of issue with data integrity, we will not push it out. And we want this to come out working perfectly. So that was our holdup on this, but definitely be out by Monday, is the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm fine with either. It's just when you said that, I'm like, wait a minute, it's not sorting that way.
That's a great
No,
catch.
yes, thank you for catching that. Yeah, this is something that I mean, I think it was an hour and a half ago, Brian was like, okay, it's an alpha. And then I hopped in and we're like clicking around going, hey, this is great. This is working. But it's those types of things that we're going to miss, without until we start looking at it for a while. So, but yeah, and then on this left-hand menu too. So say I'm looking at this and I go, oh, look at this Delta pivoting toilet part. If I click on that, it's going to bring me right down to that lead so I can view it that way as well. So think of this left-hand menu as like this is your quick menu. So if you're looking at something, you're like, oh yeah, that's the item I was looking for, or I remember wanting to, take a look at, I can just scroll right down to it by clicking on it from this left-hand side. So
And that menu will sort the same way you have the other menus sorted, right?
this is showing the results based off of whatever I've set up. So on the top here,
Yep,
there's a sort by drop down. It says
yep.
sort. So I'm sorting this by the number of leads. So it's showing me the one that has the most leads. So this one has 16 or 18 leads connected to this ASIN, and it's showing. Now, as I'm explaining this and looking, this needs to be updated to show that all the results, not just the two that are showing, Brian. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
we should talk through that because it to me again, there's some sort of filter going on here, and it might be the full date range, might be that.
Hmm.
Where if you selected the entire date range, it may show all 18 of these, and none filtered out. There's some sort of filter that's being applied there, and this may be the reason why, and this is part of why we use a 90-day filter by default, is because for someone with a large data set, this might take a while to load.
Yeah, I have a
Um,
lot of leads connected to this account.
so yeah, I think essentially it was over the date range you had selected, those had 2 leads attached to them, but then there was an additional 16 that were produced sometime outside of that date range, which shows it was filtered out.
That makes sense.
Um, yeah, but
Okay.
again, we want to make sure that however it ends up being displayed and working is very intuitive for everybody, not just the guy who built the detailed queries in the background, because I can't be over everyone's shoulder helping, and we want to again just want to make sure that it's naturally feels like it's giving you the results you expect.
Yep. No, that's good. I actually I kind of want to wait for this to load up. Keep in mind, guys, I think it's getting closer now to 300,000 ASINs in my account. So it can drag when I do an all-time search. It's a lot of data for it to pull together and then figure out where it goes and then how to show it. So, but if we wait and this does load up, it'll probably, I think Brian's right, it'll probably show the number of leads and there is a filter. Yep, there we go.
Yep.
So for example, there's 3329, right? They're all being shown to me because I don't have them filtered out a certain way. Right. I'm just saying, show me everything that you got on this. So those will get tweaked up. And then if I'm not mistaken, you can just see this is something that my team has probably bought over and over and over again. Or somebody on my team one day looks like they were having trouble figuring out how to add a lead to the database, most likely because this date lines up with when Sourceflow was in beta stage. So they added the same lead 33 times. Okay. And here's one of my girls, Grace, same thing. So she obviously kept on adding it and not sure what to do. Anyway, that's fun. That'll be fun to clean up later. Um, so yes, that date filter was affecting the results that we are seeing here, which this is like one, it's working the way it's supposed to, but two, the way it's supposed to, the way that it's designed to work right now needs to be adjusted because now that we're using it, we're finding out that what we thought it should, the way we thought it should work is not exactly the way it should work. So we're gonna go tweak that. So
This is the downhill side. This is my favorite part. Doing this and tweaking it just to get it right for everyone is this is really great because we're past all the biggest challenges.
yeah, and if I go to come in here, I'm just curious if I can find one that has a lot of leads with it that's also filtered by best ROI. I bet you we'd see them sorted properly. These have two. Look here where I can change my pages as well, guys. So you can change your page up here at the top section, of course, but even in this menu, you can change the page. I mean, I figured I ran into one that had multiple leads, but anyway, I think you guys get the idea. So so this is where we're heading out. This will be live on Monday and it'll be available in your smart data account. It'll be this button right here. You can swap to it. You can swap back to the old one, right? So just play around with it till you feel familiar with it. We're going to make a few adjustments as we continue to use this and play around with it over the weekend. And then once it goes live and you guys are out there playing with it and using it, if there's anything that you need, just hit that submit feedback button and this goes directly to our team, aka Brian. So it lands on Brian's list of things that he's working on as something that he needs to review and determine whether or not it's something that he needs to get fixed right away or something that we use to update one of these new features that we just put in place. So excellent. Any questions?
I really like the look of it.
Good. I'm glad you do. Yeah, I like the look of it too. And even just playing around with it in the beginning, for the last hour or so now, the more I'm like, okay, this is going to be fun and interesting how I'm going to be able to use this. If I'm for Q4, and I type in the keyword Christmas, right, or snow boots or something like that of that nature, right, being able to see all the results all grouped up and going, okay, here's that Christmas ornament that I did well on last year. here are the 5 different suppliers throughout the year that I got, and now I can just go look at those right there instead of, having to go through Smart Data and go, okay, well, here's that Christmas one I sold last year. Let's open up another Smart Data page and search that ASIN, and then look at all the leads that are connected to that ASIN and figure it out there, right? It's just right there available to you. So we'll get the tags figured out. We'll get the date range kind of tweaked, I would say. Again, it's not broken. It's just not intuitive is probably a better way of putting it. So we'll do our best to make that a little bit better. Um, yeah, I hope that makes sense. So sorry, my wife
Yeah,
is
and
texting me right
I'll
now.
tell you as one thing as we've been kind of going through this is we ultimately want to make this easy to use and fast. We are starting to look at how to implore or employ keyboard shortcuts. So imagine if you have that list. A lot of times, things that have a list, you'll use J and K as your up and down on the page, and start giving you items and ways to be able to quickly go through that without having to go use the mouse. We've had a lot of people ask for those types of things. So getting the system into the correct UI with this group by product was really one of the first steps in having us be able to do that. So if there's those types of things that you think of, or would definitely like to use, again, feel free to open up a new ticket or submit that feedback. It goes to me. It's something that I'll read through, and I'm, open door for getting those things. It helps me think of new ideas and ways to better the software for everybody. So I really appreciate it.
Cool.
Yeah. Awesome. We'll be looking for this Monday morning or Monday. We will be taking the server down over the weekend. There will be a message that gets sent out, just kind of letting you guys know when that time window is going to be. It's going to go down for about an hour, maybe even a little bit longer for this update. This is a large. How many lines or code changes were there in this update, Brian?
Yeah, there are two big major things with it. So it was around 100 and close to 150 of the files that build the code base are being changed. But as part of that, there will be another increase in just the speed of the system. So yeah, these are just major updates that we're doing, and they don't happen too often. So it's rare that we take the server down. But yeah, this one it'll be about 30 minutes to an hour. Shouldn't be any longer than that. But appreciate Taylor letting you guys know too.
Yeah. Yeah, just give me an idea, like what would be, on a normal update that we do every week, the small things, like what would you estimate file changes taking? Like what's that number?
Oh, probably 15 at the
Yeah.
most. And then as far as those updates, the push usually takes under 2 or 3 seconds. Most people probably wouldn't notice it, but I don't do this very often. It'd be once a week. There'd be a very small 5 second window that if you hit refresh, it would say, "Hey, couldn't load this thing," and then you hit refresh again, it's already back. Again, it's really rare, only once a week if that does happen. So this is just a different update that we're doing here.
Yeah, I just want you guys to understand the scope of this change. This is a very large, this is a very large and intricate change with a database that's already been being used, and I think we have over 1 million. I think we might even have closer over 2 million leads in the database from everyone, right? Where everyone, anytime you add something, that's just another record that's being stored. So when we make these changes, it's we're making changes to a pile of 2 million items, right? And making sure that all 2 million items get moved or work the same way over here as they were working over there. And
All
so
right.
it's done very methodically, and uh, kudos to Brian and all his hard work. This is honestly, his
Thank
his project. I go, I'm the dummy that gets to go, I think it should look like this. And if I push this button, I think it should do this thing. And can we make that happen? He goes, yes. And then and he's the one figuring out how all that works. So I just want to give kudos to Brian. This is a huge update. I'm really excited with where this is going to grow, and then what this sets us up for the future is going to be awesome. Plan on things like your extension being updated and communicating with your database. It's just going to make sourcing a whole lot easier, faster, more efficient. And then really when it comes to finding good replens and items that you want to restock, this is going to save you a whole lot of time, you know,
you.
and to do that. So Awesome. Well, we have a couple minutes left. I just want to make sure if there are any other questions or anything that anyone wants to share before we depart for this week.
I'm gonna have to go over the and watch it again.
I'm gonna have to make some.
Taylor, yeah, could you send me video because I joined late so I can replay or watch again?
Yeah, you came in right at the beginning of the presentation, so you did catch most of it. But yes, I will work on that. I'm gonna have to put together some new tutorial videos for this new look of smart data. So that'll be my
Yeah, it looks
project.
really cool though.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for it. I think it's once you get familiar with it, everything kind of has its place and it makes sense where it's at. So I think it's been a really good project so far. So
Yeah, and you know, that's one of those that started off as someone saying, you know, it would be really nice.
yeah,
And that's how that idea started. Now we're about to have it. So
yep,
if we welcome the ideas.
awesome. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for joining this week,
Yeah,
and
thank
we
you.
will, like I said, look forward to this come this Monday. And if there's any questions or anything, feel free to reach out to me. And if you do have any issues, if something breaks down or you're like, I don't know, I can't access this page, shoot us a message. We can revert this update on your account very quickly in case there is an issue with something that you run into. Know that we can reverse it real quick for you. So excellent. All right, you guys have a great rest of your week. Thank you so much.
You too. Take care.
Thanks, Taylor. Thanks,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.